Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about Mermail deck building. Specifically, we're going to talk about the option of which fourth fish to play to summon with coelacanths. This is really the only engine-related deck building choice that Mermail is faced with, it seems like. I think everything else is pretty much standard. But then we have the fourth fish. We're going to call it the fourth fish problem. And traditionally, I think starting off when the new Mermail deck came out, Armored Shark was the fish of choice because you could, it would help you get into a double totally awesome play with coelacanth, but it would also help fix your board so that you could summon Moulin Glacier more easily. It fills up your hand for more follow-up and for more discard fodder, and I think it's a pretty solid package. However, in YCS Bologna, we saw Julius Schwarzkopf top the event with the Shif build, the Ghoti tech choice here. And what this one allows you to do is get a little bit more out of your coelacanth combo. Get a couple more negates on there. There's pros and cons to each. And in this video, we're going to go through the combos of both. I'm going to show you the combos with Armored Shark. I'm going to show you the combos with Shif. And you can decide which one you prefer to play because I think both are valid and both have merits and pros and cons, of course. So let's go ahead and talk about them right here in this video. Before we get started, please hit the subscribe button if you're not currently subscribed so we can grow the channel, reach a little bit larger audience. And let me know in the comments below what other Mermail related combo stuff you would like to see in a video, and I will try to put it out on the channel for you guys. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. Okay guys, so we're going to do two combos with each option, alright? So we're going to do one combo starting with just Neptibus, the traditional one card combo, and we're going to see what our end board looks like. And then we're going to do another kind of minimalized combo, which is just going to be Abyss Teus plus Malcharmi Perulia. And that's just going to show you what you can do essentially with one coelacanth with nothing else, okay? So then we're going to be able to compare these guys a little bit and see which ones offer you better options in which scenario. We're going to start off with Armored Shark because I think it's the more traditional option, and we're going to go through our combo starting with just our Neptibus, okay? And this is going to be kind of your traditional one-card Neptibus combo, but I want to note how it differs between using Armored Shark and using the Shif. Okay, so in this one, we start off with Neptibus normal summon, activate Neptibus effect here, and we are going to send a copy of the Shadow Squad to the graveyard to search a copy of Dragoons. Okay, Shadow Squad, because it was sent to graveyard, is going to activate to summon a level 4 lower Mermail or Atlantean from deck. We're going to go ahead and summon out our Abyss Pike. Abyss Pike on summon is going to discard the Dragoons to search a level 3, which is always our Abyss Rhine, and then Dragoons, because it was sent, is going to search as our copy of Moulin Glacier. From here, we can activate our Abyss Rhine, attributing herself and the Neptibus to summon out our coelacanth from the deck. And we're going to summon out the coelacanth now, just because that's why we're here. We want to see how our fish combos differ when we summon out, or when we have different ones available. So we are going to play into Nibiru a little bit, but, you know, so be it. Neptibus, because it was sent, can summon back our Dragoons here, and then we can overlay our Dragoons and our Abyss Pike into the extra monster zone, don't forget, to summon out our copy of Bahamut Shark. Here we go. Now, Bahamut Shark can detach, let's see. Yeah, Bahamut Shark can detach their Dragoons to summon out our Totally Awesome. And then Dragoons, because it was sent, can search us a Sea Serpent. In this situation, we're just going to search us the heavy infantry because we have Abyss Rhine in the graveyard, so that's an interruption. So right now we have four water monsters in the graveyard. Now we have a couple options here, okay? If we have a water monster we don't mind discarding, we can just discard, such as heavy infantry, we can just discard that, summon out 3 fishes here. Or if we don't want to do that right now, or if we don't want to discard our heavy infantry, we can actually access the Armored Shark to our hand. So just to show that, we're going to go ahead and overlay the Bahamut Shark. We're going to overlay the Xyz Armor Fortress on top of that, and then we can detach our Pike here, and then search us the Armored Shark to our hand. So this is an example of how we can get an extra card in hand for more fodder For example, if we don't have anything to dump off of Coelacanth, we can get the Armored Shark here. However, because we've searched the Armored Shark to hand, that means we can't summon it out with the Coelacanth because it's not in our deck anymore. So it's kind of a trade-off there, whether you want to conserve your hand or if you want to get more bodies on the field. Let's take a break. Like we have two branches here. We have a fork in the road. We're just gonna continue with this version. We're gonna discard the Armored Shark, or no, before we do that, we're gonna summon out the Mulinglacia. We're gonna then use Coelacanth, discard the Armored Shark to summon out two Abyss Pikes, okay? And of course, Mulinglacia activated to make our opponent discard 2 cards, which is awesome. From here, we have access to another Bahamut Shark, obviously, but what we want to do is avoid getting this Mulinglacia to the graveyard so we don't have to skip our next battle phase. So we're going to right now link these guys off for our copy of Coral Anemone. We're going to use Coral Anemone effect to summon out our Shadow Squad here. Before we use Shadow Squad to make all of our waters level 7, we have to overlay these guys into the Bahamut Shark because we don't want to lock ourselves out of that. So we're going to overlay for the Bahamut. We're going to go ahead and use Shadow Squad, discard the Heavy Infantry to make everything level 7, and now we can overlay into the Abyss Gyos, right? Okay, from here, now we can detach the Bahamut Shark. We can go ahead and summon out our Totally Awesome into this zone. And now we can link off our Bahamut Shark and our Coral Anemone into the Neptabyss. Okay, so with one card, we have Double Toad, Abyss Gyos, Neptabyss to protect them all from targeting. And then next turn, whenever we send our Toad to grave for cost or we detach from the Gyos, our Neptabyss will be able to search as follow-up. And then whenever Toad goes to grave, we can add back our infantry, and that means our Abyss Rhine is also a pop. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 interruptions, essentially non-targetable, plus follow-up, plus our opponent has lost 2 cards out of hand. Okay, so that's going to be our combo if we were to have searched the Armored Shark off of Xyz's Armor Fortress. Otherwise, we're going to have to rewind a little bit and remember what our board state looked like. Okay, now if we rewind, this is where we were before we summoned out the Xyz's Armor Fortress to search that Armored Shark. Let's say we don't want to do that. We still have 4 cards in the graveyard, 4 waters. Let's go ahead and discard with the Coelacanth, and now we can summon out 3 fishes from the main deck, 2 of which are Abyss Pikes, and 1 is an Armored Shark right here. Okay, now we have to get 5 waters in the grave, which we have, but we don't have any room to summon out the Moulin. So what we're going to do is overlay these for Bahamut Shark, and we're not going to detach right now. We're just going to summon out the Mulinglacia. Okay, now we can activate to make our opponent discard 2. From here, we can link off our Bahamut Shark and our Coelacanth, and we can go into the Coral Anemone. Now right here, we kind of have a little decision to make. How likely do we think it is that our opponent is going to out this Mulinglacia? Because we can either go Coral Anemone, summon back the Shadow Squad, and then do the whole level 7 thing. Or we can summon back out the Shadow Squad and leave it, and then overlay for a Lavirtue Dragon, right? So we do have a couple options here. Armored Shark right now is just an extra level 3 body. And it could get us an extra level 4 body, but because we only play 2 Bahamut Sharks, in this particular combo, it's not going to get us anywhere. So right now, it's just an extra body on the field, and that's why you might want to consider searching it to keep your hand full instead of summoning it out in this particular condition. But anyways, let's go ahead and summon back out our Shadow Squad regardless with the Coral. We can use the Shadow Squad to discard if we have any other card. Yeah, it's any card, not just a water. So remember, we only started with Neptabyss in theory, so discard anything, even a hand trap, and then that means we can overlay here into our copy of Abyss Gyos, and that will ensure we have a battle phase next turn. Now, what's kind of interesting is we can just go ahead and use Armored Shark now to summon something back out like an Abyss Pike, but that doesn't really get us any value, to be honest. So what we can do is go ahead and link these guys off for our copy of Neptabyss, and then we can detach from Bahamut Shark to summon out our Toad. In theory, these zones should have been switched around a little bit, but that's okay. Summon out our Toad, and because a water was sent to the graveyard, we can have Neptabyss here summon back out, or search us a Triana. Okay, so here we are with the Triana. We can activate the Triana if we want to summon out whatever we want, because it's just going to be link material. Let's say it's just an Abyss Pike. Or we could have had that Abyss Pike, but anyways, then we can go ahead and link these guys off for an Abyssalacia. And what this lets you do is have 1, 2, 3 interruptions, and then when each toad goes to graveyard, we can add back the heavy infantry. So now, when the first toad goes to grave, we're going to add back heavy infantry, and that means Alacia can discard it to search, and then infantry will be a pop. When our second toad goes to graveyard, add back infantry again if we need to, and then we have Abyss Rhine to discard the infantry to draw one, and then infantry's a pop. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then double infantry interruptions. That's 5, 3 negates, 2 pops, and then our opponent has already discarded 2 off of Moulin Glacia. So that's a pretty strong combo. We could have done the whole Armored Shark thing and saved the Triana for later, but that's fine. We're saving our rank 4 instead. And yeah, this is where it gets us. Now, keep this picture in mind. Essentially, playing Armored Shark gets you into Toad Gaios with a double pop. Let's see what the Shif gets you, the Ghoti card, because, you know, this is pretty good. How much more can you improve on that? Well, let's go ahead and check it out, because it's going to be a fun time. Alright, so Shif, just to remind you, is a level 2 tuner. It can banish itself from the graveyard and target a fish you control to let it gain 500 attack, but more importantly, when it's banished on the next standby phase, it comes back, and then during your opponent's turn, you can synchro summon during the main phase. Okay, so you can synchro into any fish, and we'll see what that will get us in a minute. Alright, let's resort all these cards into the main deck and extra deck here, just like that. Very good. And now let's go ahead and start with our Neptibus one more time. And in this time, our Armored Shark is going to be assumed not in the deck. Okay, so we'll leave it over here. Let's go ahead and normal summon our Neptibus, activate Neptibus effect. We're going to send, once again, our Shadow Squad to search our Dragoons. Very nice. Shadow Squad once again summons out one Abyss Pike. Pike discards Dragoons. That will search us Abyss Rhine, and then Dragoons will search us our Moulin Glacia. Very nice. Now we can go Abyss Rhine, send off the Neptibus. This is the start of the combo, is going to be kind of the same. Send off the Neptibus. Neptibus is going to bring back our Dragoons here, just like last time. Nice. And now we can overlay these guys for the Bahamut Shark up in the EMZ for sure, because we always want to link off a used Bahamut Shark. We can detach that Dragoons here to summon out our Toad. Great, we're in the exact same place that we were in last time. Oh yeah, and Dragoons has to search here, and that will search us our heavy infantry. Okay, so we're in the exact same place, like I said, as before, except now we have 4 monsters in the grave, and we don't have the option to get quickly a 5th one before we use Coelacanth to use our Moulin, which is a little bit of a bummer. It's a little hard, because in the combo with Shif, it would be nice to do that, because we're not going to just straight up overlay for Bahamut and make room again, okay? But anyways, this is where we are. Our only option right now is to use Coelacanth. We're going to discard that heavy infantry and summon out 3 fishes from our deck, and this time it's going to be Abyss Pike, and a Shif. Okay, very nice. From here we have 5 water monsters in our graveyard, which is a little bit challenging, because whatever we do, we want to keep it 5 so we can summon this Moulin. And hey, sometimes you can't summon the Moulin and you just use it as discard fodder, and that's okay too. And honestly, it absolves us of forcing us to go into the Abyss Gaios and all that play just to get this guy off the field. We don't have to worry about skipping our next battle phase. You know, it's a double-edged sword a little bit. But, hey, it would be really nice to get into that Moulin Glacia. So what we can do is do the same thing we did last time. Overlay these guys for a Bahamut Shark, if this is how we want to play it. And then we can just summon out this Moulin Glacia here. However, that doesn't really use Shif whatsoever, okay? Which is a little bit of a bummer, because it would be nice to get into our synchro plays. But in the 1-card combo, it's not always possible. We might have, like, different stuff we need to do. For example, if we want to summon out the Moulin Glacia, the all the synchro plays that we can be doing with Shif is not really feasible, okay? So you might be like, what the heck, you're not really convincing me that Shif is worth it. Well, it's not worth it in this particular case. We have full combo. We have full combo, uninterrupted. Our opponent has lost 2 cards. We're gonna just be able to link off here for whatever we want. Link 2, it could be Abyssalacia, it could be it's probably gonna be the Coral Anemone to bring back something, and then go back into or honestly, it'll go into the Shadow Squad, make everything level 7, overlay for the Gyos here, and then we're gonna have the Toad, Gyos, Double Toad, Gyos, and then the Neptibus. It's gonna be the exact same board. However, when we have a more simplified Coelacanth combo, it's gonna be a bit different, okay? Let me just finish off this combo so you can see exactly what I mean. We're gonna summon the Gyos here, and then we can detach from the Bahamut Shark, or rather, we're gonna link off here for the Neptibus before we detach. And now when we detach, we can search out the Triana as well for a little bit of follow-up. So we're gonna have our Double Toad plus Triana in the hand, and then if we want, we can use the Triana, summon back whatever, and then make the Lacia here. Okay, so this is an option. This is an option. It's the exact same board as the Armored Shark, so you know, you're not missing out on this board, okay? But hold on, let's take a look at what happens when we don't have access to all of our Atlanteans, okay? Because it's going to be quite a bit different, and that's why I wanted to show you the combo where we just open Simplified Coelacanth combo. Let's say in this scenario we open only Teus Perulia, okay? It's basically a one card Teus combo, except we have to have a water, and I want that water to not mean anything, like not get us any advantage, and Teus Perulia is a good option to show that, okay? So let's go ahead and show the Teus Perulia combo, essentially just Teus combo, and we're gonna go ahead and special summon the Teus here, and it's assuming we have no other waters to discard. The only valid thing to search is going to be Abyssrine, because Abyssrine is treated as a Mermail, and now we can go Abyssrine, send to graveyard to summon out our Coelacanth from deck. And this is essentially just Coelacanth combo. Let's see what we can do with it, okay? And we're going to start with the Armored Shark version, and then we're going to look at the Shif version, and we're going to see that there's quite a bit of differences in this particular line, okay? So Coelacanth will discard any hand trap. It doesn't have to discard a water, so that's why this is still a valid combo. We can go ahead and discard, and now we can summon out 4 fishes from the deck. So we're going to summon out our Pike, our Armored Shark, and then 2 other Pikes, just like this. And now from here, we can go ahead and overlay 2 of those Pikes for our Bahamut Shark. Stop me if you've seen this before. And then get our Totally Awesome onto the board as soon as possible. So we go ahead, Bahamut, we detach, we summon out our Toad. Now notice we don't have any Atlanteans, we don't have any Sea Serpents, we don't have to worry about 5 monster count in the graveyard, so we are basically free to combo however we want from here. Alright, so right now Armored Shark can use its effect. This is the first time we're using Armored Shark's effect in our combos. We can send a rank 4 to grave, or we can summon an Xyz to grave and summon back a fish with the same level as the rank. So essentially we're going to send our Abyss Dweller from an extra deck to the grave to summon back out our level 4 Abyss Pike. Now we have another 2 level 4s, which is kind of nice. We can now link off our Bahamut plus our Armored Shark, and that's important because we want to we messed up the zones a little bit. Let's say that was over here the whole time, because we do need to have that Coral Anemone zone open. We need to have something to summon back for a Coral, and if you notice, there's nothing small enough to summon back with Coral. Ignore the Perulia, except for Armored Shark. So we're going to go ahead and put the Armored Shark down here. After summoning back the Armored Shark, now we're going to link off the Coral and the Coelacanth, and get up into our Neptibus. And we wanted to leave that level 3 on the board. You'll see why in a second. We're going to overlay these guys for the Bahamut Shark, just like this. Let me find it. Okay, and now we can detach from the Bahamut Shark to summon a Toad. And now because we've detached or sent a water to graveyard for cost, our Neptibus will activate and will search us our equip spell. Here we go, and now we can activate that equip spell, summon back a level 3, specifically from our graveyard, which is Abyss Rhine, because that was part of our combo earlier. And now we can overlay these guys for our copy of La Virtue Dragon. Okay, so typically in the armored version, you're also going to play La Virtue because armored is a level 3, and it makes it a little bit easier to get into this guy. La Virtue on summon, of course, is going to search us our trap card, assuming we're playing it. So now we have a trap card as an interruption, and then we can detach from the La Virtue, whichever one we want, probably the Abyss Rhine, because there's a graveyard effect, and add back whatever kind of follow-up we want. Honestly, we could add back the Abyss Rhine, because it's a pretty solid follow-up, so I think we're going to do that. And that assumes we don't have anything good to discard with this guy anyway for the draw. Okay, so now this is what our combo looks like with just the Armored Shark version, okay? And then if we want to, we can also just link these guys off for an Abyssalacia as well, and that will give us even more follow-up if it's applicable. But anyway, yeah, we have Double Toad, and then we have Double Pop with the Virtue Stream, plus some follow-up cards, or with these guys, discarding to search and all that kind of thing. So we do have a lot of follow-up. And this is just our one-card Abyssalacia combo, right? All we had was Coelacanth summon out 4 bodies from deck, and out of that we get 2 negates. They're untargetable. We have follow-up, we have 2 pops. Not too shabby. But now let's take a look at what happens with Shif in this exact same situation. In the Shif version, we get a little bit fancy. We're again going to start off with our Teus discard Perulia to search out our copy of Abyss Rhine. We can use our Abyss Rhine, tribute off the Teus to summon out our Coelacanth here. Alright, starting off just like last time, Coelacanth discard any card. Now we can summon out 4 fishes. We're going to summon out 3 pikes just like last time, 1, 2, 3, and then our Shif, Fairy of the Ghoti. Alright, let's take a peek at what we can do with this. Once again, we're just going to start off with the basic. We're going to start off with summoning out the Bahamut Shark, detaching here, and summoning out a Toad. That's not going to change at all. Okay? But now we have Synchro Plays. We're going to Synchro off our Shif and our Pike. And now we're going to be able to go into this card out of, what was it? Out of Phantom Nightmare, White Aura Porpoise, okay? White Aura Porpoise on summon can summon a fish from the graveyard, and then if you have another one with the same name, you can summon that one too. That includes the level 4s. We're going to summon out a Pike and a Pike. And that's pretty sweet because obviously we have another Bahamut Shark access, no brainer. But we also have our Shif in the graveyard here for a different play as well, okay? So we're going to go ahead now and first, it doesn't matter, I don't think, which order. We're going to go ahead and link these off for our Coral. Here we go, and now our Coral can bring back our Shif, just like this. And now we're gonna synchro off our Shif and our Porpoise into a different negate, which is gonna be Adamancipator Risen Dragite, okay? Now from here, before we overlay into Bahamut Shark, we need to use our Shif Graveyard effect, banish it to target one of our Abyss Spikes and give it 500 attack. And that's because we need to do this to target a fish on the board. And once we overlay for Bahamut Shark, no more fishes. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and overlay this guy for the Bahamut Shark. Here we go. And now we can detach one of our pikes to summon out a Toad under our... Actually, under this zone, I think, is the best. And now we can go ahead and link these guys off for our Neptibus. Awesome. Okay. Now during our opponent's standby phase, our Shif can come back and we're going to put it here so it's not targetable. What this ends up with is Double Toad negate plus a Dragite negate plus whenever we're ready, Shif can synchro summon using the Dragite and itself into a copy of Ghoti of the Deep Beyond. Now, you might not be familiar with this card if you're only into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, but this is a Ghoti card. When it's synchro summoned on our opponent's turn, it banishes the entire field, okay? Both your field and your opponent's field. Now, I know you have a full board, but you're going to do that after you use 2 toad negates. These are going to be gone. You're going to replenish your hand with those toads, okay? And then if they out your Neptibus, you're going to have a 3rd card. But anyway, when we banish the entire field, including the Deepion comes back during your next standby and has 500 attack per banished card, okay? So this thing is going to be huge, and it's going to be ready to swing for game. So we have a triple negate plus a full board banish off of just 1 coelacanth. Okay, this is cool. This is different than our Armored Shark version, which was a double negate plus a double pop with a little follow-up. Now we have triple negate plus a full board banish with a little follow-up. So it's kind of up to you which version you like better. Let's look at the pros and cons. For Armored Shark, the pros. In the Neptibus combo, you can more easily get Moulin Glacia on the field, and you don't have to awkwardly do stuff to get that Moulin Glacia off under Abyss Gyos, because it essentially keeps your hand full instead of your field full for no reason, okay? I would rather keep my hand full in that case. And I like that it allows you to manipulate your graveyard with extra monsters sometimes to be able to summon out Moulin Glacia easier. Those are the pros. The cons, or the pros for Shif, are that, first of all, it's cooler. You're playing a Ghoti card. Second of all, you can summon cool stuff like Deep Beyond. You can incorporate synchros more easily. And I personally think that this solo coelacanth combo is better than the Armored Shark version. Okay, so there's pros of each. The cons are you're just missing the other one. Missing the pros of the other one. So it's kind of up to you on which one you want to do. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like Shif better or Armored Shark better? There's no wrong answer, I don't think, but it's kind of a preference thing. All right? So with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed this Mermail combo discussion. Let me know what other Mermail stuff you would like to hear in the future, and I'll try to do those. And with that, we'll see you soon.